fix it, break it, fix it, break it, buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it,
Can it now upgrade it?
Chart it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, write it, get it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, check it, rip it, zip it, lock it, fill it, find it, techno, buy it, use it, break it, crash it, change it, now upgrade it, chart, point, zoom, press it, work it, erase it, write it, get it, load it, check it, rewrite it, like, play, burn, crack it, drop it, slide it.
Right.
Find it, view it, code it, check it, scroll it, lock it, press it, crack it, track it, logic, crack it, logic, lock it, fill it, flow it, find it, view it, techno, buy it, use it, break it, crash it, check, upgrade it, chart, point, zoom, press it, work it, erase it, write it, load it, check, rewrite it, like, play, burn, crack it, drop it, slide it, write it.
Hello viewers, this is Flying Flapper and welcome to the first look of the Ferrari Essentials DLC, which is actually the last DLC from this season pass on Project Cars 2, where there is 8 new Ferraris with 2 new locations. Now, I'm only going to showcase 3 of them Ferraris, but we are going to test drive both of these circuits. First up is the Pista di Fiorano, which is 1.86 mile in length, 12 turns, and it's actually Ferrari's test circuit, so it would explain why you can only use the Ferrari manufacturer cars on this game around this circuit. I believe there must have been like some sort of licensing agreement on here, so it's a bit of a shame, but you know, what can you do? But we are using the Ferrari 455 Special. It's a Road B class, and considering I had traction control and stability control turned off, this car performed really well. It was quite easy to drive actually, and really you know, what I struggled with was the actual circuit, because I'm not familiar with this circuit at all. Don't think it's been on any other racing game, especially, you know, on console, which I'm playing on now. So yeah, I really enjoyed the car and I really enjoyed the circuit, but whether or not it'll be good to actually race on is another thing, but still it's a good inclusion. Just given the stats of this car, it's a V8 engine, 605 brake horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and a top speed of 202 miles per hour. So it's a good road car. But moving on to Mugello, most people should be familiar with this circuit. This was featured on Assetto Corsa. Now, anyone that's played Assetto Corsa knows their attention to detail. All their circuits are laser scanned. It did feel a little bit different on this game, I have to say. The curbs felt a lot flatter, and it felt a lot smoother on the road itself. So I do believe it's not laser scan, but don't quote me on that, guys, though. But in terms of length, it's 3.25 miles in length, 14 turns, and I believe this is a really good race course. I mean, you know, it might not be laser scan, but it's still a good recreation of the circuit. And we was driving the Ferrari FXXK Track Day A class car, and this car was an animal. I mean, it's no surprise that it has 1,050 brake horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, and a top speed of 217 miles per hour. Now, this was a car you really did need to respect. You couldn't throw it into the turns, you couldn't plant the accelerator down, or you couldn't stamp it down coming out the exits, because what will end up happening is you going sideways. So, you know, probably a car that drifters would really like, but you you know, it scared the death out of me. Really did. Yeah, it's like I say, a very hard car to keep around the circuit and be fast with. And because I'm not overly familiar with this circuit, I mean, like I said, I have played on the set of Corsa, but that was quite a long time ago. So, and we'd only put a few laps in, no car setup either. We was using the default loose setup, which I don't think suits my driving style. But nevertheless, we kept it on the circuit, and it's a half decent time as well. So, yeah, that'll give you a rough idea of how this car performs around this circuit. But onto the race. Now, we was using the Ferrari 512 BBLM car, which is a Group 4 car, produced in 1978, so it's quite old. It's a flat 12 engine, 5-speed, producing 475 brake horsepower, 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, and a top speed of 199 miles per hour. Now, it is a rear-wheel drive car, but front engine, so so I did struggle with the way the car handles. Obviously, back in the day, this would have been really, really fast. But like I say, you know, that just for me, it was unbalanced, and particularly I was using the loose setup as well. Didn't have my own setup at all. So going into this first turn, I was a bit tentative because I didn't know what the brakes were like, and these guys do nip through. Now, I did have a bit of a problem with one of the guys who I was side by side with just going into this corner here. He knocked me out a little bit wide, and then we ended up going wide on that curb, which gave us a slow down penalty. So we had to apply the brakes and let him through. But I thought this was going to be a clean lobby because all the drivers were either A class or above in terms of safety rating. And this guy in front had an S class, so that is obviously the best safety rating you can get. But yet he was an absolute nuisance in this race. Now I do try and go for a move on the inside of him here. Perhaps I should have backed off a little bit, but I thought he saw me, and I thought he was giving me some space, and then as we turned in, he's then turned into me, and then I've gone spinning. I've come out a lot worse than he did. In hindsight, maybe I should have backed off, but I still thought he was going to give me the space, and he didn't, so that's the way it goes, I suppose. But as we go on to lap 4, we are now behind the other fly. 2 flies don't make a right. Private joke there, guys. But yeah, the flying shark, as he's called, in second place. We do catch the back of him, and we do well. I always felt like I had better pace than he did, but as we go around the last corner of lap 4, we get a tighter line in, and we're able to maximise the throttle on the exit, and we close that gap down. He starts weaving in front of me, which I thought he was just showboating, but then I try to go around the outside, he blocks me off there, so I think, alright, we'll go down the inside, he blocks me there, and then he swerves again in front of me, so I can't make the pass before turn 1. But we get the inside line. Now normally I would sort of go for it here, but I was obviously wary of his antics, and then he brake checks me on the next corner, and then we lose a lot of momentum because what is key around this circuit is obviously you get there's a lot of left to right handers, so it's very important to get a good line out of the first corner to get a better line out of the second corner, and we get a good run here, and again he blocks me off. It started to really annoy me, and because I've had to back off, I've then lost momentum, and it created a bit of a gap between myself and him. So as we roll onto lap 5, there is about a second gap between us. Obviously trying to use the slipstream to get a bit more speed, but as we go into turn 1, he goes a little bit wide, so we take a tighter line in, so we do close that gap a little bit. And like I say, very important to get the first corner right to get a better line of speed out the second corner. So as we come up to the left and right hander on this part, he goes wide, we take a tighter line and we go up the inside of him, and there's literally nothing he can do there. And I was confident I was going to get past him because I had better speed than him, but I was struggling with the car's balance. And as you can see from the diagram at the bottom right hand corner by the speedo, you can see that the tyres do heat up a lot, and you do lose a lot of tyre degradation on the front, being as it's a front engine car. So I was struggling a little bit, but nevertheless we hold off the other flyer and we take the second position. We are a good, like, well, anything, what was it, about 15 seconds behind the leader, so clearly he knew this circuit a lot better than I did, and this car as well. But nevertheless, had a good fun time with this car, and you know, if I do create a setup on the car, I hope to get them lap times a bit further down. So it was a good, like, 3 seconds off of the leader in terms of best lap. But anyway, guys, giving my final conclusion to this video and to this DLC, I have to say it's a really good DLC. You've got 8 classic Ferraris, well, classic cars to the modern day Ferraris, but a good variation there. But they are mainly all road cars though. But obviously you do get 2 locations. Obviously there is a drawback with the Ferrari test track in the fact you can only use the Ferraris, but it's still a good inclusion. And then obviously Mugello that we've just seen there is a great racetrack, and I think will give us some really good racing in the future. Now I believe it's £8.99 UK sterling for this DLC if you don't have the season pass, and I think that converts to €10 and $10 as well. I would say it's definitely worth the money, particularly if you like the Ferraris. You know, if you're like me, probably will never have the money to buy a Ferrari in my lifetime. So this is probably the closest you're going to get to it. And although I've never driven a Ferrari, you know, I did feel like as if it was as close to driving a Ferrari in terms of its physics. So yeah, I do definitely recommend it, guys. Maybe in a next video, maybe I will showcase the other 5 Ferraris around maybe you know, different circuits and stuff. But so maybe look out for that, guys. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, please do show your appreciation by smashing that like button, same as the subscribe button as well if you are new to the channel and you want to see all things Project Cars 2, then please do hit the sub button. And yeah, guys, I will be doing more future content on the Neo Racing. It's a new season, so do look out for them. And till then, I'll see you later. Take care, and bye-bye for now.